Okay guys, I was doing, as you see, a YouTube video, and the darn thing ran out of space. And so to start deleting, I gotta go and take time to figure it out. So I decided to use my old iPad, so excuse the quality. But what I want to talk to you, I was talking to you guys in that video, and it's going to get chopped off because the storage stopped. So I was talking about why you get fat. So this would be the part 2 plus a bunch of other stuff. So the part 2 is why do people get fat on keto? It's because, I mean, the simple answer is your blood sugar is still too high because you're breaking down muscle and converting that into sugar through gluconeogenesis, blah, blah, tongue twister. And you guys have issues prior to trying keto. So your insulin is a storage hormone. Therefore, it stores fat, and it makes things grow. It just makes things grow. It just, makes things grow. And that's what we don't want when it comes to our fat cells. You have to look at the metabolic damage way before you even tried keto. And nobody does that. They think, oh, I'm going to go do this really fast diet, I'm going to drop a bunch of weight, and I'm going to be fabulous. No. Doesn't work like that. So my last video was trying to explain how your hormones to bring blood glucose back up aren't getting it up. I know. Gluconeogenesis, IGF-1, glucagon. These hormones help to regulate and get your blood sugar up where it's down, because if you're at work and you crash, it's a stress on the body to keep working. You really need to go and take a rest and relax and start to conserve energy, but nobody does. They run for the caffeine in the afternoon or the coffee in the morning to keep them going all day long, and then the adrenals are cranking out adrenaline, and that shite stays in the bloodstream for 8 hours, and that's why you guys don't sleep properly. You can fall asleep because you're exhausted, and then you wake up because you have that glucose, and you have all of that well, that too, cortisol, and it's waking you up in the middle of the night, or it's not getting you into deep reparative rested sleep. So you just gain weight because you got insulin, the pancreas is overworking, it's like throwing insulin into the bloodstream, and that's going to do what? Store all that fat you're eating. Well, it doesn't store all of it because, it's an insulin receptor, not a fat receptor. But that insulin can help move things into the fat cells. So it's not actually fat that makes you fat. If you guys can manage your stress and keep your glucose down, then you wouldn't secrete much insulin. Therefore, all that fat you're eating would be used as ketones or structure, or pooped out. Used as energy, used for structure, nice fatty brain, or pooped out, used as energy. So the problem with you guys is that you have really wonky, wacky, regulatory systems on how to use fuel. Use it, partition it, and now when you do a ketogenic diet, it's a total stress to the body, and so that's why I'm like, you have to treat keto like you're training for the Olympics in the beginning, because not one step less will do. You will not keto adapt. I've seen it 5,000 times, that if you do not take all the necessary measures to adapt, you don't adapt. And so then you remain in this awful purgatory zone of sometimes you have energy, most of the time you don't. Like a lot of you guys have your poor sleep is still around. That pressure from having your glucose be too high because you're testing your glucose. Your fasted glucose post meals is too high. I know! So that's why you get fat, guys. It's not actually the fat. It's the fact that your insulin is still too high, because the pancreas becomes overworked and it only knows how to overdump and flood the bloodstream with insulin, because you guys keep eating more carbs than the brain can actually do the math on. It's like, oh, 1 carb, that's great, no problem, 1 gram of insulin. But once you get past that teaspoon, the pancreas just dumps insulin into the bloodstream, and you know what? You'll store. You store fat, you store fat, you store fat. In fact, that when you have a meal, you develop reactive hypoglycemia, because the insulin will just dump every time you eat something. It just does. It's just an automated response to protect yourself, and then you crash, because when you're eating over 5 grams of glucose, it's toxic to the bloodstream. So when you're having a ketogenic meal, the body's just so used to dumping insulin into the bloodstream that even though it's a high-fat diet, you're still dumping insulin, and then you crash. That's not good, people. That's why you're storing fat. It's not the fat, guys. You don't count calories. No, 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 no. You don't count calories. If you take steak, fatty steak, and you take cookies, and they have the exact same calorie count, they're going to be broken down differently, and they're going to be used differently. The steak is going to go real slow. You need enzymes and peptides and caloric acids and bile salts to break it down so it can fit to the bloodstream. And cookies are kind of already pre-processed. You don't have to digest them as much. So they wham into the bloodstream. When sugar hits the blood that fast, you have that dump of insulin, you see? Your body tries to get rid of it because it's very toxic to have all that sugar in the bloodstream. That's what diabetics have. They have a disease of high blood sugar because it just pumps and circulates around, damages cells, heart disease, you name it, the sugar does it. So that's why people go on a ketogenic diet. You drop your glucose, you drop the insulin, you don't store, and then you can access your body fat and get the business and begin to just burn. That's the theory. But you guys are too much in a friggin' hurry to adapt and to lose weight, so you don't. You gain weight because you have damage, guys. You have damage before you even start. And nobody's looking at that. You guys you are not superhuman. You are just mere mortal, same as myself. So I had to go and do my due diligence and walk my body. Well, actually I had to go down the rabbit's hole and find out where the damage started. And then slowly, and I mean slowly, repair this broken body. Because when it starts to repair, right, the gut lining repairs, your pancreas repairs, your adrenal sufficiency and adrenal function repairs, then and only then, you will be highly adapted. And yes, you can do them at the same time, but you have to be so smart the way you do it. And as you adapt, there's nothing better than how keto feels. And the reason why it's not promoted is because how do you sell how you feel? We're very exterior, you know, oh, look at my body, you know, like fabulous. Your body on the outside is a reflection of your body on the inside, but you must have a keen eye. You must. And that's why I tell people, if you see fat on my body, but I'm very lean, but what you see is my collagen is not being chomped away through gluconeogenesis. And collagen is the protein under the skin that makes you look young. That fat layer, that subcutaneous fat is just fabulous. Fabulous. So you can see I'm not hypervascular, but I'm very lean. I'm very, very lean. It's the safe way to drop my body fat percentage as a woman without compromising my reproductive system or organs that need cholesterol for structure, to make the hormones. It's so cool. So I just want you guys to really understand that. It's very important that you understand why you get fat. You have metabolic damage. So I say, people are like, I gained 7 pounds, or I gain, 4.5 kilos. And I'm like, or 3.5 kilos. I'm like, good. And they're like, what do you mean good? And I'm like, because your body's healing. They're like, how can getting fat equate your body healing? And I'm like, easy. That's easy breezy. Because you had to eat very low calories before to keep a certain body image on the outside. But you created so much damage. The body wants to get fat to protect itself so it can heal. So yes, if you actually gain weight on keto, you're healing. It's not the type of weight gain from eating a lot of really bad processed foods and then not moving and soda and stuff like that. It's sort of like a layer of protection to protect the body. And once the brain understands that it is now using ketones and it doesn't rely on that blood sugar up, down, crash, feel better, crash, it then realizes that you are flooding the bloodstream with fat. There is no famine. Let's start to drop the body fat, because the body fat will let go when you become more metabolically sound. But it's a process, guys. You can't do a ketogenic protocol and go, so will I be adapted in 6 weeks? Can I start focusing on weight loss? And I'm like, no, just heal first. That's all you need to do. You don't need to be in a rush, unless you're, terminal, dying of cancer now. There's no rush. The body must work slowly. That means that you've got to be incredibly patient. And that's what's missing. Nobody's patient. We're such an instant society. I'm on my computer and my pages are loading slowly and I'm freaking out. And I'm like, stop. You could be starving. You could be sleeping outside. You could have an illness. And I don't have those things. So can I wait 5 seconds more for my page to upload on my internet? It's that type of... Those types of people don't adapt. You train your brain, or your personality is right here, and we train ourselves to be so impatient. So you have to go against what is become your new normal and create more strict discipline. So I had this lovely woman yesterday, but she was doing keto for weight loss. And I'm like, you smoke cigarettes? Your circadian cycle is off, horrible. She wasn't really largely overweight, but the point is, smoking cigarettes and keto don't mix. It's like oil and water. Ketogenesis can only be obtained for those who are willing to clean their body out. You have to clean it out, because you guys got junked up liver, junked up gallbladder, junked up gut, dysbiosis, kidney. You got to clean that stuff up as you keto adapt, and then you have to put your body more in a rest and digest sympathetic state of calm, which is why I ramp down the workouts while you're trying to adapt. Because once you adapt, you're fine. You can push the limits because your body, brain, understands that you love your body. You take care of it. You don't go, oh, well, my body's like third on the list of importance. Somebody said to me today, we were talking about quality of meats. Oh, that's expensive. And I was like, is your body, is your health worth it? Because to me, nothing else is worth it. No cars, no material things, nothing. So if I have to spend money on food for this, done. Oh, I burned up another freaking 15. So guys, that's what I wanted to share with you. If you want energy, you have to understand how keto works. You have to understand that you might gain weight. You might have to understand that you have adrenal issues and cortisol issues and pancreatic issues. Those things have to be fixed as you're trying to adapt. And that's why it's important to learn as much as possible. Don't believe the hype, because if anything looks too easy on those stupid message boards, it probably is. Probably is. So people are like, where did you learn this? I'm like, I love learning about the body. If I go on the internet and try to study keto, I'll never get a straight answer. It's just a bunch of crap. Convoluted, contradictory information, and those people just use before and after pictures and food porn, and people keep their addictions alive and running. If you guys want to learn more, you can go to my Periscope, download the app, or at the Play Store, the Apple iStore thingy, whatever. And my name is Steph the Business. When you go into the search, find the name, Steph the Business, BIZNESS. This way you guys can talk to me live in a Q&A. I think I'm going to do one now. And also, you can go to my website if you guys want a consultation, which is stephanieperson.com. Or just go to my Facebook, which is Stephanie the Business Person. And I know, I've got 20 different names because I'm an idiot.